While Formula One celebrates its return to a racetrack this weekend in Spielberg, the Red Bull Ring celebrates 50 years since grand opening in 1970. While that is going on, in the virtual world, the Grand Prix legends also have reasons to celebrate as we ride 70 years since the last roar of the Lotus 49 and all of its variants. The championship can't be much more exciting as well. Orbit Train Rate leads the way with winning 2 out of 3 season opening rounds and placing 4th last week. This calls for an awesome mid-part of the season, so buckle up, get some popcorn and join us today as we get ready to watch round 4 of the Grand Prix Legends Series live on the global SimRacing channel via the iRacing eSports network. The crew to give you all these stats and storylines today will be Ryan Walker, John and myself, Stefan Schlacher. Turning the knobs and pushing the buttons behind the scenes, our director Joe Peak, and he's using cameras provided by the great Dougie Beard. Not one to underestimate, the Road America circuit is one of the toughest tracks in North America. What really makes this track so tough to be fast at? Let's have a close look at it in GSRC's Track Guide.
Welcome to Road America. Nicknamed America's National Park of Speed, it's easy to see why just by looking at how the track is laid out. Long straights are a major feature, and drivers will build up incredible momentum before they find themselves interrupted by tight 90-degree corners. In fact, for a 4-mile circuit, it has shockingly few turns. It also has little in the way of variation in layouts. The main course is only broken up once with a single chicane added in the bend version. But don't take this to mean that it's a boring track. Elevation change happens many times over a lap, with a few places taking you into corners which are quite blind. But 2 of the turns on the back half of the course are perhaps the most distinctive. One is the carousel with its more than 180-degree radius. It just feels like it never stops. The other is the kink. Terrifyingly fast with very little runoff, it can end someone's race in a flash. As you'd expect, the heavy braking zones make for some ideal overtaking spots. Turn 5 sees plenty with its downhill entry. The hurried downs can offer drivers a chance at a sneak attack if you're brave, and then Canada Corner gives you one last shot before the lap is over. It's no wonder major organizations such as IMSA, IndyCar, NASCAR, and the SCCA all host major races here. All in all, many drivers rate this track as the best track in North America. Many who hop in the seat and try it can quickly understand why.
Well, I have to correct myself a little bit here after this awesome track guide by Joe Peak. It's actually 50 years and not 70 years there. Just a little bit of a misread on my part. Ryan, what else can you add to what Joe just told us about this track?
So yeah, this fantastic 4.048 miles track is located in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and it has 14 turns. And the track was first started hosting racing back in the 1950s. And has hosted a whole range of the other or various series, from the NASCAR Xfinity Series to the WeatherTech Sport Cars Championship to the IndyCar Series, Fairly World Challenge, AMA Superbike Series, and a whole range of other series. And today it will be host to round 4 of the Lotus 49 Series. And some corners that might be worth keeping an eye on is turn 1 with that long run up the home straight, and also the run through the kink heading up to Canada Corner. That is a corner that can catch drivers out, and these drivers with the cold tyres and also the nature of these cars will have to be on their toes.
Most definitely. They come full swing at this race week. The last one to win in our Lotus 49 was actually Austrian Jochen Rindt in Monaco in 1970. So, really full cycle coming here with the grand opening of the Formula 1 Championship this weekend as well. Speaking about championships, let's have a look at the F1 Drivers' Championship in the Lotus 49. And as already mentioned, Orbit Train Rate is leading that one right now with 137 points to his name. That's 2 wins and a 4th place, with Rob Olenek, the New England driver, in 2nd place, 27 points behind. Sebastian Tixier, the Asian driver, 99 points to his name, with Nikola Kochi 9 points behind him in 4th. And Mick Kledge, he's already back inside the top 5 after that 5 points scoring round, opening round of the season. He is back in 5th place after winning last week. Only going to be a very interesting battle for him, back to the top 50, some points behind over train grade. Ryan, I think F2, there's a little bit of a thing going on with Antti Kärönen.
Yeah, the Finnish driver currently leading the F2 Championship, and he's got a reasonable gap back to Germany's local, a 37-point gap. And then David Rossi's rounds out the top 3. But the battle for 4th position in the F2 Championship is currently between Warren Watkins and Pekka Risto, and it's all still to play for in the F2 Championship at this early stage of the season.
Yeah, should be really interesting. Also will be interesting to see if the German Eric Lukal can catch the Finn of Antti Kärönen. Now, speaking about Finns and Germans, let's have a look at the Nations Cup, which we also track here at GSRC for the Grand Prix Legends Series, like we did back in the race of the real-life Lotus 49. Norway right now leading that one. All points go to over train grade, 137 points there. With Italy in second place, so Nicola Cocci not the only Italian we have in this series, with the United States in third, 110 points, the United Kingdom 5 points behind them, so very close battle there for second place, only 7 points in between those, and France not too far away either, 6 points behind the United Kingdom in 5th place. Right, last but not least, we might have a few more new faces in this broadcast here today, so why don't you give them a quick rundown of the race details?
So this is the 4th round of the 13-round season, and like I mentioned last week, some people might be tuning in for the first time and thinking, hang on, that might be, I thought it was a 12-round season, but apparently, like I said last week, this is a leap season, so we've got 13 rounds instead, and the race length is going to be 17 laps, and the setup, as always, is open, so you are free to change anything on the setup but that you can change. Incidents will be 17x, which will equal a penalty, or if you get to 25, you will be disqualified from the race. So these drivers, even though the track might be wide in some places, are going to have to be very careful with regards to the track limits.
Yeah, it should be really interesting. It also looks like the track is in quite a high track state already. So that should be really interesting to see how these drivers can manage that. Lots of grip, obviously, with that available to them. Also seems like the weather is going to play a very nice role in this race. Right now, 39 degrees Celsius on the track, 27 degrees Celsius in the air. Mikkelaj, he is coming around the stripe for, I think, the first time, a 2-minute 3.2 that was. So that puts him right now in second place. Oh, very bad mistake through turn 1. That might have already pretty much denied him a good second run. He's going to continue, though, all the way down to turn 3. Right now, first place goes to Rob Olenek, 500th, ahead of Mikkelaj.
Yeah, Mick Claridge, he had managed to kind of redeem himself last week at Mid-Ohio. He didn't have a really good start to the race, but managed to gather himself back up, and they just basically pull away and maintain the gap from the rest of the field and held on for the win. But Ove Trengrade has been pretty much the man that's given him a run for his money this season so far, and I wouldn't rule him out of taking the win possibly this afternoon.
As always, a quick reminder that you're watching this broadcast on the iRacing Esports Network. Make sure to like and especially subscribe if you haven't done so yet, to not miss another second of extremely exciting racing action, not only of the Grand Prix Legends, but also of all the World Championship Series that are going on here on iRacing. So we're right now getting close to the end of the second lap attempts of many people's. Rob Olenek is already coming out of the last turn. Let's have a look what he can do. To remind yourself, he's right now first place with a 2-minute 3.202. Can he break into the 2 second laps? No, just barely not. A 3.061 though makes him about 2/10 faster than Mikkelaj.
And Donald Peake coming across the line as well, and it looks to be a slow lap as he goes though. He just doesn't manage to improve his lap, but he's still sitting in the top 20 in qualifying as Mick Claridge is coming up to complete his lap.
Yeah, I'm expecting him to be slowing down, and that is exactly what he does. goes for a practice start here. So very much that lap was a bad one for him. Let's have a look who else is coming over the stripe. Chris Hengler right now coming over the stripe. 15th place for him. What does the second lap do? It's much slower than the first one by about 1.2 seconds, so he stays in 15th.
There's Jan Lyman's coming around the final corner as well to complete his lap, and they currently sitting 13th in qualifying, and it looks to be a slightly quicker lap by the looks of it, but coming off across the line now and manages to improve by about 3 or 4 tenths of a second.
And that seems that was all the cars that were able to put in a qualifying or willing to, whatever you want to look it at. But that all confirms Rob Olenek on the pole, 2/10 ahead of his main rival of Mick Cledge. So the 2 leads the 1 on the grid with the 3. Peter Mikus in 3rd place, and Nicola Koji rounds out the top 4 with putting his number 4 on the 4. There's about 7 tenths, by the way, between 1st and 4th here as well. Andre Schumacher continues his extremely impressive run in this championship. The 23 puts his car in 5th place with Alessandro Parisi in 6th, Gary Cheal 7th, Bill Tyler 8th, Pekka Risto in 9th place, and Antti Keränen puts his car into 10th place.
David Rossi starts in 11th, alongside him is Telma Amaral, and 13th is the Finnish driver Jan Lyman, and then 14th is Andrew N, 15th is Chris Henler, 16th is John Van Dorn, Andreas Bruno in 17th, 18th is Brennan Cleveland, 19th is Dave Cohen, and rounding out the top 20 is Donald Peak.
Clinton Adams, the last car to put in a qualifying time in 21st, Yuri Geisen in 22nd, 23rd went to Eric Luco, Colin Bentley 24th, 25th Robert Reynolds, Douglas Nelson 26th, Aya Kambadi, and Greg Bradshaw on the last 2 cars in a row, number 14 here today. 28 drivers will take to the green flag, and Rob Olenek is hopefully going to lead them out of his view into turn 1. Still have a few drivers that need to make to the grid. Anders Schumacher, one of the last car that still needs to. I think that actually is pretty much everybody except for Clinton Adams. He's not coming though, because the green flag is already out. We have a start, and it's a bad start for Rob Olenek. Mick Cledge already side by side. They're even up right now, and also the 3 with a very great start, and Rob Olenek actually is going to give that position away to Mick Cledge. Mick Cledge on the outside, the dirty side. He has a big slide though that gives the momentum back to Rob Olenek. Side by side into turn 3, once again a little bit of a wiggle there on the brake for Mick Cledge. Rob Olenek, he is getting good drive, but a better drive goes to Mick Cledge. Still side by side down to turn number 5. They will head in just a few moments. Mick Cledge is much better on the brakes, it seems like right now, or is it? No, Rob Olenek comes back on the outside, but the outside is always a little bit trickier, and this time around he has to give up the hope for P1, or does he still side by side? No, now we go. Turn 6 is the deciding point there. Mick Cledge, and now your new leader of this race.
A good start from Mick Claridge. He managed to take the lead from Rob Olenek, and they take the lead, but he's still under huge pressure from Olenek, and they're behind these 2 guys as well. It looks like at the moment we've got Peter Mikus runs into the back of Olenek.
Yeah, Peter Mikus in 3rd place, Nicola Koch a little bit behind, 2-3 car lengths already. The 4th place driver with Andre Schumacher also already a little bit behind Nicola Koch. Right. Let's see how all of that is going to continue as we head into Canada corner for the first time. Maybe Rob Olenek that rough this event. He's getting closer, but not close enough to stick his nose in. Also the braking, getting very close there to the back of Mick Cledge.
Yep, as they come around the final corner to complete the fight, the first lap, and Peter Mikus getting a bit sideways in 3rd place, but at the moment it looks like everyone's had a clean start and there's no major issues to report.
Yeah, really, we can say that Jörg Giesen, he has already disconnected, so it seems like he had some issues in the first lap. As Rob Olney goes to the outside of turn 1, tries to challenge Mikulaj for the first place, but with the dirt on the outside, a really big moment there for him. Maybe even loses second place to Mikus. Mikus thinks better of it though. The Slovakian keeps his car in third place, maybe looks for a good exit, but that doesn't prevail for him as well. Let's see Nikola Kochi just behind in fourth place, who we're riding on board with right now. He is looking to the inside, maybe try something there for Peter Mikus. He very much does stick his nose in. What a move by the Italian, up to third place.
Yeah, that was a fantastic move. That was certainly a send that Daniel Ricciardo would be very proud of.
Very much so. Daniel Ricciardo, somewhat of an Italian, has some Italian heritage in his family, but Nicola Kochi very much sticks the nose in there. Had no right to be there, but somehow made it happen. A little bit of a mistake there out of turn number 8. Oh, nearly contact between Kochi and Mikus. Mikus much faster through the carousel, but he is stuck up behind Nicola Kochi, who has lost out quite a bit now already. You can see that about a second in between Kochi. Oh, Mikus keeps it together on the grass. Ryan, what a save.
Oh, mamma mia, that had me holding my breath, and that was a great save by Mikus, and he just caught the grass on the exit of the kink, and I'm amazed that he never spun or hit the wall. Oh, as he gets so close to Kochi under braking.
Yeah, very much so. Peter Mikus Kochi is starting to look a little bit slidey. Maybe he's trying to push a little bit too hard. Rob Olney goes to the very right side of the track. You're able to see it on the bottom of your screen. And the gap is continuing to grow between Olney and Kolev, already up to 7/10 over the stripe, as Mikus and Kochi side by side once again for third place. But Kochi parks the bus on the apex and continues in third place.
Yep, and the top two up at the McLaren's rather up at the top two rather. My bad. Starting to break away slightly from Kochi and Mikus, and the field is surprisingly already starting to spread out as Peter Mikus is trying to make a move up the inside of Kochi, heading down to turn 6 by the looks of it.
Oh, look at that! Very interesting. Nicola Kochi this time around very early on the break. And I also saw an interesting line by Mikulaj, Joe. I don't know if you have that, but if we go back a few seconds there for that breaking point of that turn 5 of Mikulaj, I want to showcase that line because I've never seen anyone use a braking line like that.
Yeah, I was quite surprised myself, just looking at the replay now, and yeah, Mick goes right out wide and goes wide and tight in, and yeah, that's an interesting entry.
I don't even notice that Lilo. Is that a 1x or like that is? Honestly, I've never seen anyone use that, so I'm a little bit speechless right now. But Mikulaj most definitely has found something there, and it works as a lucky treat for him as he continues in first place, about 1 second now ahead of Rob Olney, with Peter Mikus third place, 3/10 behind Rob Olney. So yeah, depending on how they work out, it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, sorry, it's 1.3 seconds.
I was just about to say as well, further back in the field, the battle for 12 between Eric Luco and Gary Thiel is currently going on at the moment, and both of them are going side by side, or just about went side by side into the final few corners, but they decide to do the sensible thing and they back out of it and just be sensible.
Yeah, Gary Thiel had some issues in this lap. He started it in 6th place, but now is back in 12th, so something most definitely happened to him. Let's see how much he's able to defend here against Liverpool. He is 5/10 clear, so there shouldn't be any problem there into turn 1. Though it is already 2.7 seconds the gap between him and Pecaristo in 11th place. Going back to P number 3, because that is right now the closest battle we have on hand. Peter Mikus makes a little bit of a mistake there through turn 5. And once again, super sideways, the Slovakian driver has to be careful not to overuse his rear tires, because that is really easy to do in Lotus 49.
Absolutely, and Peter Mikas probably takes a few lessons from Ovi Trengrid on how to get the car sideways and having good car control.
Oh!
But Coetzee goes around the outside in the carousel. Amazing.
What a move once again by the Italian. How does he do that things? I mean, yes, Mikas had a bad mistake through turn 5, but still to go around the outside, around the dirty side all the way, that is extremely impressive by the Italian. And especially because the speed that he showed through that carousel, that is really surprising move by the Italian. As we look at Enrang, seems like he ran into some problems.
Just looked at the replay. Oh, is it? End just ran wide. Went offline and ran into the gravel, but luckily managed to recover and keep going. And they only lost about 1 or 2 positions. But that move by Coetzee on the outside and fitting the carousel was amazing. But on the other hand, on the home straight, Mikas has got the run on Coetzee.
Yeah, very much so, Ryan. Side by side to go over the stripe. It still belonged to Nicola Coetzee on the stripe as Rob Olnik puts in a new fast lap of the race. And now, Coetzee also able to brake later on the clean side of the road. So that means he still continues in 3rd place. But with all the battling they have done, they have lost Rob Olnik this lap alone by 1.2 seconds. The gap now did grow to 3.3 seconds up to Rob Olnik. So the top 2 very much in a league of their own already. As once again, Mikas comes to the right side this time. Very interesting. Coetzee did leave the left side open as well, but he said thank you, no very much. And this time it once again didn't pay out. There's a lap car ahead of them. That's Carampio. Ooh! Touch between them. How is that all working out? It seems like there was no significant damage to Coetzee, and also that brought in Andre Schumacher there, that pink or purple car. That is 5th place Andre Schumacher. He is now in the battle as well.
As Coetzee gets sideways in the carousel, but Steph, I'm amazed that I never ended up in a disaster. But amazingly, they all managed to survive.
Miscommunication there between Coetzee and the lapped car. Seems like though everything did play out very nicely without any consequences to Coetzee nor the lapped car. Also kudos to Mikas, who did lift off the throttle to give back position to the Italian.
Yeah, it was good sportsmanship from Mikas, but right behind these guys now, and just in the popcorn position is Andreas Schumacher, and probably just thinking to himself he doesn't want to try anything too silly, as it looks like Coetzee and Mikas are going to go at it again on the home straight.
Yeah, very interesting. Every single time Mikas has the advantage out of turn 14. And obviously the draft helps as well, as Mick Glench puts in the new fastest lap of the race, a 2:03.333. Much threes there in that lap time. And Peter Mikas has taken over the 3rd position in the race with his number 3 car to finish off with a lot of threes.
That's it. Yeah, it's a good point that our director brought up as well. I wonder if Mikas has got different gear and for the exit of the final corner and the home straight, that he gets such a good run and he doesn't hit the limiter. So it's a very good point.
Yeah, it is a very good point, but then I have to raise a different point that he is struggling through this midsection once again, compared to Nicola Coetzee, also out of turns. Although he is not really struggling through that right-hand kink that we have here into her downs. So it is a little bit interesting how he is struggling out of the very slow corners, but out of turn 14 he is really putting down the hammer, and he is putting it down very efficient. Nicola Coetzee continues to hound the back there. He has been on the radio a few times this lap, the Italian, so I wonder if he's feeling a little bit of damage. Koji sneaking closer to the back of Mikus, but once again into Canada corner, nothing to do for him as that was Andre Schumacher there who totally misjudged that turn number 12.
Absolutely, and sorry, Steph.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it looks like Kochi will probably get the run on Mikus this time around as well, but he doesn't seem to be as close as he was before, so it might maybe just got a bad exit on the final corner. But Kochi's going for the move on Mikus as they head down into turn 1.
Yeah, you can see how much better Mikus is through that last turn, through a tunnel turn, because Kochi takes a very long time to get side by side with Mikus, but once again he was able to pull the move off, and he is back into 3rd place. Very happy days for the Italian, because he has put in quite some nice performance throughout these last 3 weeks. And once again, Mikus to the outside for turn number 5, the 90-degree corner. Mikus once again has to stick behind, tries to do the switcheroo, but it's not working out, as once again the Italian parks the bus on the exit.
Yeah, a good bit of defending from Nicola, and yeah, still in the background just watching his Schumacher, and yeah, Mikus and Kochi, I don't think these guys will get separated that much unless if either of these two make a mistake, but this seems to be the closest battle on the track at the moment, and it's been absolutely fantastic to watch, and a lot of respect between the two of these guys, and it's great.
Yeah, you can see that these two are long-time competitors. The way they treat each other, very respectful in all the moves they do. As I said, Andre Schumacher is still clinging to the back of them, but he is starting to lose once again the back of them. It's now a bit over 1/10 separating him from Peter Mikus. Multiply that by 10 and you have to get between Kochi and Olenek. It's 8.2 seconds that they are separated already, and continuing to grow by about a second to half a second per lap. So very much Olenek and Kletch in a class of their own, as Mick Kletch continues to only lead by a second each and every lap. So Olenek, he is not able to really get close to him, but he is also able to go the pace. So very interesting development between those two. Have to keep an eye on that gap throughout this race, as Mikus once again tried to go and challenge for that 3rd place. He very much did challenge, but run once again to no prevail.
Absolutely, and I'm just looking further back in the field as well. The battle for P10 is currently going on between Pekka Risto and Gary Teo, and also it looks like Germany's back up at the front of this battle still going on as well between Kochi and Mikus, and I thought there was going to be a bit of contact there.
No, there was not, thankfully, and Mikus once again is in 3rd place, but a missed shift there from Mikus. Slow shift from him that gives back the opportunity to Kochi. Kochi nearly loses the car on the inside curb there off turn number 7. Here comes Andre Schumacher. He says, "Hello, I'm here. Thank you very much for that position, Kochi. I am now in 4th place." Oh, Kochi, another mistake! Woo! Safe!
Oh, that was yeah, I had to hold my breath again. I thought he was going off track there, but Andre Schumacher rather made a very opportunistic move, took the chance and made the move up into 4th position. And the battle further back in the pack for P10 is going on between Pekka Risto and Gary Teo and Eric Luco, and this battle has been going on.
And Schumacher just made big contact. Schumacher hard into the inside wall, and Schumacher stuck in the middle of the road. He is still not towing. Go to the replay to show exactly what happened there, as more cars streak past him. It's gonna happen on the run into Canada corner. Oh, he just got hit by someone. He was waiting to get once again going. There we can see now. So Kochi a little bit too far into the kink there, and then a hard impact into the wall. Kochi a little bit lucky there. And you can see the 23 standing there for quite some while. doing a good job to just stand still, and then after that 3-car pack, there's gonna be another 2 cars, and then he is actually gonna get hit by someone. So very unfortunate situation right there. There was that hit for Schumacher. So very unfortunate, he had to tow because of that last contact. So that is the race done for him.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate for Andre. There's just unfortunately nothing he could do about that. But up at the front as well, Mick Claridge is still leading the race, but Rob Olenek is also managing to keep in reach of him and maintain that gap around about 1 second. So both of these guys are lapping at it looks like around about the same pace.
Yeah, they are pretty much the same pace for the last few laps already. So very, very interesting development that after actually getting gapped by about a second, he was able to all of a sudden go that pace again of Mick Claridge. As we have a look back to 8th place, that's right now going to Pecoristo, but Gary Thiel has something to say in that. Bill Tyler also not too far behind those two fighting, kind of like in the Schumacher spot that we saw earlier in the battle for 3rd place. Oh, that's a bad mistake for this. Still lots of honesty there through the kink. Maybe gives the opportunity to Gary Thiel. Let's have a see. Now he actually lifts off the throttle there for Canada corner. Ooh, look at that, Bill Tyler. Very hot into Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. This battle, like I was saying before, it's been going on for quite a while, and these three have been really close together. And Reese, Thiel and Tyler, pretty much, I've been watching them most of this season so far, and they've been real impressing me. And they've always been challenging for the places inside the top 10 or just outside the top 10.
Also, I can confirm the car that did hit under Schumacher was the German Eric Lukl. So very unfortunate, the 2nd place in the F2 Drivers' Championship is out of this race as well. On board we still are with Bill Tyler, looking over the shoulder of him. Let's see how Gary Thiel is going to tackle it into turn 5. We have seen the stretch of going around the outside and going around the inside. And Ryan, both, interestingly enough, have worked for Peter Mikus.
Absolutely, and one of the cars does the same line as Mick Claridge, goes really wide, and then to try and maximise the entry, and it actually seems to work. And strangely, you don't seem to get an off track for that, so it's perfectly legal to do that.
Right now, this actually is the closest battle that we have, so we're gonna continue to focus on that. Let's actually have a look. Who is our biggest gamer in this race right now? Seems like that one is going to Colin Bentley, although he isn't the real hard charger of this race, as Bill would say. 24th to 16th, but he didn't put in a qualifying lap.
Yeah, it's a great run from Colin Bentley at the moment. Consider where he started, and they just keep it out of trouble and up into P16 at the moment. And I thought it was an incident there, but it was just something from my end in iRacing. But Reese and Thiel and Tyler are still close together, and they come up to the final corner. It looks like Thiel might get the run.
Already starting lap number 11 of the 17 lap race, so only 7 more laps to go. Let's see if Gary Thiel is able to take away that 8th place from Pekka Risto. It is going to be a hard thing to do into turn 1, as he's still quite far back. Seems like Gary Thiel doesn't have a lot of straight line speed to play for into turn 1. Might have to do something with the damage he has on the front of his car, as they're gonna come up to Kadambi, who is one of the lap cars we have here. Also David Rossi, 7th place, not too far away from them. You were able to see them there, him in that shot, looking forward. So he is still very much inside.
Yeah, David Rossi's been having a great run. Oh, it's something happened, I believe.
Yeah, Gary Teal going super wide there, completely misjudging the braking point for turn 5. I thought it was a lap car, but actually was him and Bill Tyler that completely misjudged turn 5. Did string out them a little bit, but they're still within about 3/10 of each other.
Yeah, and I was just about to say as well, David Ross has been having a great run. He's pretty much been by himself for most of the race so far, and having a good race in P7, and he's not been doing anything too silly. He's just been keeping it on track, and having a great run so far. And I think this could be, if he stays where he is and finishes where he is, this will probably be his best result of the season so far.
Interesting development up at the very front of the pack as well. Rob Olenek, he's starting to close in on Mick Claridge, while the track temperature has risen by 2 degrees Celsius up to 41 degrees Celsius right now. It seems like Olenek is much more happy under these track conditions, as they just put in a new fastest lap of the race at 2 minutes 3.258. That's about a tenth faster than Mick Claridge fastest lap of the race.
Olenek's been closing Mick down slowly, and I think maybe the track temperatures at the moment are probably not suiting Mick's setup at the moment. He has said in the past that his setup seemed to be more suited for maybe the slightly cooler temperatures, or track temperatures rather. So maybe at the moment just struggling a little bit, but Rob Olenek has managed to get it together and close that gap down to about half a second.
And there you can see the lap comparison. Last 4 laps world faster from Rob Olenek. So very, very interesting development as we take on the last stage of this race. Lap number 12 of 17, 6 laps to go. They are gonna fly by in just a few moments, as we all know, Road America. Seems like we also had a pass for a position further down the road.
Yeah, replay. Oops, sorry, Steph.
Seems like, there we go, there we have that pass, we think. No. Yes, no, there it was. That 24 car there on the outside, Chris Hengler. He had a mistake through turn 1 and got passed by Andres Bruno, who now also got past Telmo Amaral, it seems like. Or, no, sorry, just past Chris Hengler. There we have him. Andres Bruno, Telmo Amaral still a few seconds up at the road as the battle for P1 is finally on. It seems like Mick Claridge has lost a lot of speed all of a sudden, as Rob Olenek very much on the back of Mick Claridge. Slideways out of turn 1. Mick Claridge is really battling that car. Track temperature up by another 2 degrees, 43 degrees Celsius. It is getting hotter and hotter out here today.
Yeah, Olenek has been been closing down Claridge really quickly, and it looks like, just from the way where I'm watching Mick's onboard, it looks like Mick's struggling a little bit. That car seems
to be... he comes to the inside! Rob Olenek has no right to do that, but he still sticks his nose in. Side by side with Mick Claridge. Up the hill they go under the Corvette bridge. Still the inside belongs to Rob Olenek, but that is going to be actually the pass already, as Mick Claridge can't come back on the outside. Rob Olenek back into the lead. Your second lead change of the race.
Oh, that was some move, and fair play to Rob. That was he had the big cojones.
Yeah, Rob Olenek, he actually took that line of Mick Claridge to his advantage, because Mick Claridge wanted to go to the very outside of the track, and then realized how Rob Olenek is diving to the inside and just didn't go for it anymore. And that really threw him off the line there as well through turn 5. So kudos to Rob Olenek using one of the strengths. Mick Claridge goes over the bump there as well. That nearly loses his car. That is, I think, a little bit of damage there to the front of his car as well. Yes, it very much is so.
Yeah, the replay up on the screen now, and they're just coming through the kink, and it looked like Claridge got the run on Rob and used that slipstream to the advantage, but Rob went to the inside, defended the position, which he's entitled to do, and Claridge just tried to go alongside and Rob just no one's to blame. It was just a racing incident, and they unfortunately ended up in a little bit of contact between the two.
Yeah, Mick Ledge went to the right side while Rob Botnick went a little bit to the left side, and they just touched with their wheels, really threw Mick Ledge off the road there. But yeah, the good thing is Mick Ledge still has a long way back to Peter Mikus, who is now quite a bit ahead of Nicola Kochi with that incident from Andre Schumacher. So I don't think there will be much problem for Mick Ledge to at least hold that second place. Maybe, just maybe, he's also able to come back to Rob Botnick for the first place, as it isn't too far between those two as well either. So still not everything done and dusted for that first place, but let's have a little bit of a look back to the battle for what is that, 14th place I think? 15th actually, sorry for that. That is 14th, Andres Bruno leading that back with Chris Hengler in 15th and Colin Bentley in 16th.
Yeah, this battle has been going on for the last couple of laps, and these three have closed up together. And yeah, this battle further down in the field for the P14, it's wherever you look, there's always a battle going on, especially in the closing stage of the race. And just a side note as well, I did notice that Rob Botnick, after that incident, he slowed down and waited for Mick Claridge, so that was a good sign of sportsmanship from Rob. And it's another reason why I like watching the series is always a great respect between the drivers, and another aspect is the sportsmanship.
I don't know, was he waiting for Rob, for Mick? I didn't really catch that. I just think that Mick... No, he did wait for him in turn 5, so you're right. Very much sportsmanship there by Rob Botnick. But maybe that could have quite mainly butt there, as we are starting lap number 15 of 17, so 3 more to go. The battle is back on for the first position of this race. Mick Ledge wants to make it 2 in a row, while Rob Botnick wants to win the first race of this season for him.
And these two are close together again, and yeah, I wonder if Mick will try and do the same as what Rob done before, and maybe just try and catch Rob out and try and send up the inside. But Mick Claridge is moving to the left, just showing he's there, but he doesn't do again. And Mick takes that wide entry, so it seems interesting. It seems to be working for Mick.
Yeah, he is getting that better launch into turn 6, as we were able to see right there as he goes side by side with Rob Botnick, and might actually take away that position. Or no, Rob Botnick stays in there. No, now he backs off. Big mistake from Mick Claridge, but it is not too much of an issue. It still stays in first place, and Mick Claridge back into first. Very interesting. I mean, yes, it really does give you a nice boost into turn 6, but in all reality, it is a big... Oh! What he touched there! Mick Claridge keeps his car together. How did he do that after being bumped in the exhaust pipe once again by Rob Botnick? Whoa! That battle is really on now.
Absolutely, I'm only watching. I'm still getting a sweat on watching this battle, but this battle between these two guys is absolutely fantastic to watch. And Mick Claridge, I thought he was going to make a mistake again after he passed Rob, but managed to hold it, and Rob seems to be falling back a little bit.
Now let's have a look at what Rob Botnick is able to do. 2 to go. It is going to be very, very interesting now. As said, Mick Claridge wants to do 2 in a row. Rob Botnick wants to win the first race of the season for himself. So a very interesting combination. I know I'm saying very a lot because I'm running out of superlatives a little bit there in my head, because I'm a little bit speechless about how much car control Mick Claridge has already put on here today. But yeah, just incredible stuff from these two, and also in a battle for third place we saw in the first half of this race. And Peter Mikus, in case you were wondering, 13 seconds he is behind Rob Botnick. So unless they crash out, there's not going to be a chance of him catching these two. Oh, Rob Botnick and Mick Claridge nearly coming together there into turn 5, as Rob Botnick tried to go around the outside, and Mick Claridge a loose on the brakes, I would say. I don't think that was intentional to go over like that. But that has put in quite a hole between those two, which Rob Olenek already able once again to close down.
Yep, and they got by a back marker. I thought the back marker would have held them up in a little bit, but they managed to get by cleanly and have no issues. But as they come round the carousel, Clarid's leading Olenek, and I think Olenek, but he's close at the moment. If he gets a great run through the kink, he might be able to use that slipstream and get a run on Mick. But I think if I was Rob, I would wait until the home straight, or maybe the last lap when they heading up to Canada Corner to try and make a move.
Realistically, Canada Corner not really a passing opportunity in the Lotus 49, so I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to make his move down into turn 5. Let's have a wait and see as we're approaching the last corner of the penultimate lap of this race. It has flown by very much. 45 minutes of broadcast are already pretty much over. 35 minutes of racing. We are heading into the last lap of the race. Rob Olenek is already closing down the back of Mikkelaj. Mikkelaj is lifting a little bit. Rob Olenek goes around the outside and is lifting off the throttle himself. A little bit of tactics are being played here. Olenek once again does not really accelerate. Same with Mikkelaj, still side by side they go. What is going to be happening now? Rob Olenek makes a little bit of a mistake, a wanted mistake, I nearly want to say, as he didn't really turn in there at all into turn 3. Now, Mikkelaj, he's defending the inside as expected. Rob Olenek has the draft, goes to the right side. That's going to be outside for turn number 5. Here comes Rob Olenek, a little bit better on the brakes. He did hit the gravel there on the outside as well. Let's see, on the throttle, Rob Olenek with a little bit of a mistake goes sideways out of the turn under the Corvette bridge for the very last time. Rob Olenek has to stick back for now turn 6, turn 7 into the hurry down stick go now. Rob Olenek a little bit better on the turn here, but obviously that's not a passing opportunity in this car. Oh, they nearly touched once again. Rob Olenek just much better on the brakes here in this slow turns. Now they go through the carousel, still in first place. Mikkelaj wants to do it 2-4-2 to get back into this championship as early as possible after his first round mistake. Rob Olenek through the kink once again, riding on board with him. Takes a lot of entry curve here. Let's see how that's going to play off for him. He is losing out a little bit on the exit. Rob Olenek, he might have to do a very big lunge here. He tries to do it, but he's being covered off by Mikkelaj.
Oh,
and that's what Rob Olenek once again is waiting for Mikkelaj. They have the time to do that. Mikkelaj is going to get back into position number 1, I imagine. Very much so. Rob Olenek lets him past. Mikkelaj doesn't want to have the position, but now he actually takes it. Let's see, is he gonna be attacked once again into the last turn? Is Rob Olenek gonna take it? No, he's not. He's staying behind very much so. Courage from Rob Olenek. So with that, Mikkelaj takes away round number 4 here at Road America. Peter Mikus finishes in 3rd place, only 2 seconds behind, with Nicola Kochi in 4th place, Alessandro Parisi in 5th. Antti Keränen continues his impressive run here this season. F2 Championship driver finishes in 6th place with David Rossi, who will be finishing in 7th. Gary Thiel comes home in 8th, and a few more other cars are still needing to trickle over the line.
Yep, and P12 at the moment is Jan Lehman coming around the final corner, and just in front of him is Telma Almiral coming up to the line to finish in 11th, and pretty much the whole field spread out, and it looks like there's no, from what I can see, there's no major battles or anything going on, so it looks like everyone at the moment will probably finish where they are.
Very much so. With all of that, the racing might be over here in Wisconsin, but the show is far from done. We're going to step aside for just a few moments to take a breather, but we will be quickly back for the post-race show, where we will run you down the unofficial finishing order, talk to some of the drivers, and close off an eventful race. So don't step away too far, as GSRC will be back after these messages. We welcome you all back to the Grand Prix Legends post-race show, streaming to your home on the global SimRacing channel via the iRacing eSports network. A little bit of a weird ending to a great race here this afternoon, with Mick Ledge taking away the victory after a little bit of a Canadian standoff between himself and Rob Olenek. Peter Mikus, because of all of that, instead of finishing 13 seconds behind, he only finishes 1.9 seconds behind. But the 1-2-3 chair 1-2-3 with the number 4 in 4th place. So very interesting right there with Alessandro Parisi, the first one who is not where he finished. He's the number 7, but finishes in 5th place with Antti Keränen. Very impressive run once again from him. From 10th into 6th place, he went with David Rossi doing the same from 11th to 7th. And Gary Thiel finishes in 8th place with Bill Teller right behind him. And ending in the top 10 as well was Andrew Henry.
Thelma Almiral finishes in 11th. Behind him in 12th was Jan Lehmann. 13th was Andreas Bruno, with 14th going to Colin Bentley. 15th went to Chris Hengler. 16th was Zoran Van Dorn. 17th was Donald Peake. 18th was Brennan Cleveland. 19th was Pekka Risto. And right at the top 20 and 2 laps behind was Douglas Nielsen.
21st went to Robert Reynolds. Ayai Kandambi was in 22nd. He's also the last car to finish here today, with Eric Luco crashing out with 9 laps to go, Andrew Schumacher doing that with 10 laps to go, Dave Cohen 12 laps to go, Yuri Geisen 17 laps to go. He was also the last car to take the green flag here today, with Clayton Adams and Greg Bradshaw both not taking to the grid here today. So, Ryan, a very interesting race, as we said, a little bit of a Canadian standoff in the end, but overall a very, very exciting race, and it seems like our drivers very much are so excited still that they forgot to join our interviews.
Yeah, that was an interesting race. As towards the end of the race, especially after the incident, but the first incident with Rob and Mick, they seemed to be a bit of a sport. I don't mind the sportsmanship, but maybe it's just one of those things that the race that served for so long. There's a bit of a mutual respect, and I think they thought it was only fair that they allowed each other to catch back up and just battle it out.
Yeah, very much so. It leaves a lot to hope for the next round as well, which is a little bit of a game changer, I think, that we're going to see next week, because we're going to the Charlotte Roval of 2018. That is the old chicane we're going to see. So it is going to be interesting. It's once again a very fast track with a tight and twisty infield section. So we're going to see a very interesting. Let's actually take a little bit of a take there from Mick Ledge as well, as he joins us for the interviews. Mick, first of all, congrats very much to that win here at Road America. A little bit of a Canadian standoff there in the end. Seems like he has a little bit of issues there with his microphone, so we're going to give him a few seconds to let that sort out. Would be really interesting to hear from Mick, especially about that Charlotte Roval we're going to go to next week. Mick, you got a copy? Still is having microphone issues, it seems like. Let's have a last try. Mick, can you hear us?
How's that? Can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go, Mick.
Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry.
Mick, once again, a little bit of a Canadian standoff there in the end. What's your take on it?
Oh man, it was that was a bit of a weird race, wasn't it? Really. I was annoyed that Rob lost the back end at the start there, because he would have been all over me from the start. You know, I think he was a little bit faster overall, and yeah, it was just insane. You know, it actually looks like a bit of net code, but I think I moved over on him, if anything. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. If it ever happens again, I'll give him the spot, because I think he should have just driven on there.
So pretty much the same take as we had there as well. Mick, now the real question. Next week, Charlotte, Roval, the old chicane, the very fast chicane. How are you looking forward to that? Because it technically is somewhat the same as Road America. Very fast with a little bit of a twisty and tight in-section.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I've not done much testing there in any car. I've not had a go at it at all. I think I did a bit in the old 87 NASCARs, and that was it. But yeah, it's going to be every week. It seems that this car is a nightmare to set up this season. So I'm expecting the same there. So it's going to take a hell of a lot of work to get the car over those curbs, because I know you've got to be able to get the car over those curbs. But I've got little secrets how to do that, but I'm not telling anyone. It's rebounds. Put more rebound in the car.
Well, you heard it here first. Put more rebound in the car, and you're going to be very nicely over those curbs. Mick, before we let you go, that line into turn 5, is that actually legal? Do you get a 1x for it, or...?
No, you don't get a 1x for that. You did before they updated the track. I couldn't remember that they updated the track until we started this week, and it was just something that I tried. I've always run it when it was legal before. Then you probably know they did put a 1x on that exit on the entry. So it's fine now. So
okay.
And if you got a long gear, like I had a long second gear, I have to do it to be able to get up that stupid hill afterwards.
Well, that is very interesting to know for the future races. So, drivers, you can take that line very much without risking a 1x. Mick, congrats on making it 2 for 2 in the last 2 races, and good luck for the Charles Roval.
Yeah, cheers, Steph. Cheers, guys.
That was Mick Fletcher, Canadian standoff winner of this afternoon. Rob Olnick is now going to talk to Ryan Walker.
Yeah, the American finishing in second place after a bit of a weird ending to the end of the race, you could say, Rob. What was your perspective on the incident with Mick? Mick said you should have just drove off afterwards, but what's your take on it?
I don't think so. I felt like I drifted a little to the left in him, like a wiggle, and it was a bump, and it ended up being a net code. But either way, I don't think I've beat him straight up in a broadcast yet, and I didn't want it to be like that. That would have sucked. So I was like, you know what? It's been a good battle. We had an awesome battle yesterday. Let's just battle to the end. Why not? I didn't let him take the lead. I let him catch back up, and I made him pass me. So I just didn't drive it well. I could have beat him. I don't know. Like it's not like we do this for money or anything like that. Like it's really just for kind of pride and stuff like that. So I want to win fair and square. If it's something's questionable like that, I'd rather just continue the battle. Not just take off. Because if I ended up seeing later on watching the replay and that was my fault and it felt like it could have been at the time, I would have felt like crap. So that's why I waited.
I mean, I mentioned on the broadcast as well that you slowed down straight. I'll say it again, slowed down straight away afterwards, and that was a good sign of sportsmanship. And I have to say respect to you for doing that. They allowing Mick to catch back up. And apart from that, how did the race go for you? And did it go as well as expected?
I would have liked to have been closer to him a lot of the race. I kept overdriving trying to catch him. So I had, mistakes on every lap, and it would stay there. The draft would help me stay with him if I just, drove within myself. But I just kept making little mistakes, and it took a while before I put in a couple laps, and he didn't put in perfect laps where I got closer. And yesterday's race, I was right on him the whole race, and it was like a chess match trying to figure out how to pass him into 5, which is really weird because the car's kind of going across the track, and he's got the super wide line. It doesn't get a 1X. I've tried it. It doesn't get a 1X unless your left tire, where the start of the red and white curb is. If you have your left tire on before, you'll get one. But if you come in at an angle, you won't. I think my line actually there not going out as far is a little faster. And so I don't go that far. I tried it, but he likes it, so he'll go that far out. But it was a good race. I'm glad that we got the battle, and I'm glad I ended up finally taking the lead from him on a legitimate pass. And congrats to him on the win. So.
And then lastly, before we let you go, wait, are you looking forward to Charlotte next week?
Yeah, what are we racing? The new Charlotte Roval? I didn't even know that.
It's a 2018 version, I believe.
Okay, hopefully Mick hasn't driven there much, and because I think we've done it a few times in Camel, and I think if I can have an advantage on him in something, I'd definitely take it. Hopefully, we get another good battle. We have tons of great battles all the time, and it's just I've been qualifying like crap, and I end up not being near him during the races for a while. Today, I finally had a good qualifying, and I knew we had a shot at a really good fight today.
Rob, I can tell you, he did not practice a whole lot thus far.
At what, Charlotte?
Yes.
Good. Good. It's not my favorite track, but I do like it. You know, it's kind of, to me, it feels like a street course, kind of. The new one with, I don't know, even though it's not, it has that feeling to it, and I think it's fun. Even like Montreal's and Belle Isle, I love those tracks. Belle Isle is one of my favorites. So I kind of like Charlotte.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for joining us in the booth, Rob, and congratulations on the second place, and also to you and Nick for giving us a great battle to the end.
All right, good. I'll have a good week, guys, and see you next week.
As that was second place finisher Rob Olnick joining us, and Steph, next week I'm looking forward to, and it should be an interesting experience, put it that way.
Yeah, very much so. Should be a very interesting experience. Should be very interesting for the championship as well, because as we mentioned, Michael now 2 for 2 in the last 2 races. So wondering if he will be able to take on that stride over to the Charlotte Roval. With all of that said and done, GSRC would like to thank the iRacing Esports Network for having us on their talent lineup to bring you the greatest shows in iRacing into your home. Make sure to like and especially subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. On top of that, we'd like to thank everyone on the track today for a great show, and especially the Lotus 49 community for contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Right now on your screen you can see all of the companies that provide us with their great hard and software GSRC uses to deliver you the best possible show. Additional thanks goes to Tuna Lounge, who provides us with their great masterpieces. See the screen for how to get hold of more of our great work. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, please visit us at globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also find us on the social media platforms, Twitter with @GSRChannel, Facebook at facebook.com/globalsimracingchannel, or Instagram at GSRC_program. All of the upcoming races for our other series are now sliding across your screen, so check them out and mark them down in your calendar to not miss another second of exciting racing action. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, Joe, Ryan, and Doug, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in as Mick Ledge took away the victory here in virtual Hard Lake. With that said, until next time, sayonara, and as always, race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.